Hey guys, this is Nassim here, and in
Oke, gak sadar mic-nya ke mute. Oke, bentar. Let me open up the game, chat. Hello. Wait. Gamenya mana sih? Ini. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. Set keras banget, bentar. Oh, really? Max-nya 30 FPS? That's fine. Tinggal apa nih? Du- du- du. Segini oke kah? Bentar, gue cek. Nah, oke. Yang bikin berapa orang doang ini? Yang bikin 4 orang, wow. So, malam ini hey Jeffrey, hey. Malam ini kita bakal main game judulnya Death and Faelogy. Ini visual novel murder mystery. Agak maghrib, maksudnya. Maghrib udah lewat di tempat gue. Ini Death and Faelogy. Ini game visual novel murder mystery dan gue suka visual novel. And let's jump in, boys. What's your name? Udah tau lah siapa nama kita. No. No. Let's see, something funny. Iya, itu nama kita. Okay. Grading first year assignment can be such an exercise in patience. I ought to remind myself that Faelogy is relatively science. Bentar, bahasanya bisa diubah nggak sih? Nope. English only for now. Kalau nggak salah ini devnya Indonesia, bro. Biasanya tumben-tumben nggak ada opsi bahasa Indonesia. It's fine, nggak apa. I ought to remind myself that Faelogy is a relatively recent science. Only a couple decades old. Faelogy adalah sains baru, hanya beberapa dekade, berumur beberapa dekade doang. This university, the only Faelogy university in the whole country, was just finished being built in 1905. It is still barely acknowledged in the academic field. More importantly, I've got to keep in mind that children inherit their parents' prejudice and misconception. The human world has formed its own notion of fairies. So, the universe ini peri itu nyata, yes? Alas, I find myself unable to suppress a big sigh every time I read references to poison apple, ushering princesses into eternal sleep. A reference to Cottingley fairies is one I can understand, since it was quite the sensation not too long ago. Although it would be clear in the eyes of the renowned Faeologists that the photographs are mere imitation. A pity that Sir Doyle was taken in by it. I had to take a break. Halo, game apa nih? Death and Faeology ada di judul stream. Coba get with the program. The grading session today has taken me quite attention. My beloved Oz dari Wizard of Oz. Kayaknya ini mungkin karakter di game ini terinspirasi dari, gue gak baca press kitnya sama sekali, harusnya gue baca dulu sebelum stream gamenya. Kayaknya karakternya mungkin terinspirasi dari fairy tale di IRL, maybe. Kalau Wizard of Oz bukan fairy tale sih. I suppose having a fairy companion does give one an advantage in identifying genuine fairies. God. I'd say a break is in order, wouldn't you, Oz? Oz respond through thrills that I've learned to interpret over the decades I've known them. Cottingley fairies again? Yes, and Princess's eternal slumber due to poison apple. We don't care much for human princesses, but making poison apple is rather an easy feat. Shall I turn one of them into a toad in front of the whole class to show that Fae folk is capable of more than that? At the same time, showing them that all fairies are a friendly bunch. Can't help but chuckle at the thought of that. I believe some might just quit that same day if you do that. Besides, if other Faeologists get a hold of your existence, who knows what they'll do to you? Chances are high those people will try to pin you to a cockboard and vivisect you. Wow, that's disturbing. I will never let that happen. I always appreciated you pursuing Faelogy to ensure that. This is the least I can do. We've known each other since I was 7. 7. You've saved me countless times since then. Well, you could have let me bleed to death when you found me. Oh no, sorry. Well, you could have let me bleed to death when you found me. I would never. I can hear a delightful melody of chirps laced with a touch of whimsy, which makes me feel just a tad fizzy. It seems that even the laugh of a fairy possesses some magical quality. Gue bingung deh wajahnya tuh yang mana sih? So, yang di tengah ini kayak wajahnya, kayak wajah manusianya, tapi, desainnya very detail. Terus, oh my god, kayak gue ngelihat lebih lagi kayaknya ini juga wajah. While you're on break, isn't there something else on your agenda this afternoon? Oh, sorry, salah suara. Right, Mr. Henkel's letter. Thanks for reminding me. I retrieved the letter from my patron from a desk drawer. I leaned back on my chair and read the missive aloud to myself. Dear X, how long are you going to keep me in suspense? Will you or will you not accompany me to this year's Lios Gala? Lios? You could do a lot worse than forgetting your boring books for a moment in a favor of whiling away an evening with champagne and canapes and invigorating company. And when I say invigorating, I'm not speaking of those old sod with deep pockets ready to be exploited by way of funding grants for your research. I am speaking, of course, of yours truly. Do write to me sometime before Saturday. That's tomorrow's date, isn't it? Man. Oh, I know. My delay in responding is entirely by design, I assure you. I would hate to be getting the looks from the crowd like I'm a wet blanket. Faelogy isn't worth my dough, they say. Oz replying chirp is decidedly indignant. I nod to Oz in agreement before returning to Mr. Henkel's letter. In other news, I heard that little Ruthie Blythe. Namanya familiar? Caused a minor ruckus in the city hottest Pixie. If your old friend, Detective Cruz, hadn't been in the area at the time as well, who knows what could have happened? I find myself rather perturbed at this revelation. I would have telephoned, bukan teleport, what? I would have telephoned Ruthie and asked what the story was like when we were children. However, for better or for worse, we aren't on friendly terms anymore. I resume reading my patron's letter. Speaking of the detective, have the two of you been keeping in contact? He gave me the cold shoulder when I crossed paths with him at last week's benefit. I couldn't help assuming that his persistently frosty treatment of me may have had something to do with you. It's unfortunate that extensive bond you have with him should end in a rather bitter taste. As you've told me more than once, when it was good, there was nothing else quite like it. Yet you speak a very little of him, and I find myself wondering if he still holds a place in that guarded heart of yours. The letter is signed your everlasting Oscar Henkel. Oscar Henkel, itu namanya familiar. I don't know. Oscar Henkel. I press a pen to fresh sheet of paper to commence crafting a response. Just then, a familiar rhythmic rapping pierces the silence. I glance in the direction of Oz, but they're nowhere to be seen. Oz must have camouflaged themselves. Wow, they, them, fairy. Okay, they, them, fairy. In a heartbeat, I put Mr. Henkel's letter in the drawer before calling out. Come on. Come in, Minnie. Whoa. Oh, hello. My assistant entered the office. She's careful to snap the door shut behind her. Minerva. Minnie. Alright. Professor? Yes, Minnie? Were you talking to yourself again? That's right. You know me. I see. Sometimes I wonder what she must have thought while hearing the mumbling sounds of me speaking with Oz. But she knows when not to poke her nose into things. One of the things I like about her, and also what makes her the beanies when it comes to being an assistant. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's here. Who? The police detective from the newspaper. Police detective? Oh man. Classic Metal Gear Solid writing. Police detective? Even as I echo this two words, there's a sinking feeling in my stomach. You know, the man who made you crumble the papers and toss them in the trash can. In the end, he had to stop our subscription for the dailies. Detective Theodore Cruz? Yeah, that's the one. Knowing Theo is here make my world go momentarily off kill. It's as if by the magic of fairy tale. Gue penasaran ya, apa tujuannya? Ternyata apa? Main karakternya udah punya history. Gue pikir karakter kita tuh kayak karakter yang di isekai or whatever. karakter kita kayak punya historinya sendiri dan punya backstory-nya sendiri sama orang lain. Terus gue penasaran kenapa kita dikasih dikasih pilihan buat namain dia kalau gitu. Nggak begitu masalah sih, cuman I wonder. Toh juga gak ada voice actingnya. Menurut gue kalau nama ya itu sih nggak ada voice actingnya jadi nggak apa-apa. Kalau ada voice actingnya kata gue mendingan nama main karakternya tetap aja. I don't see the point. Kenapa kita bisa rename main karakternya? The ink in my patron's letter has manifested him into the reception area. Can't you tell him I'm out delivering a lecture on the far side of campus or something? That depends. Is a lie like that going to deter this man? An astute question. She is truly wise beyond her years. Probably not. He helpfully traversed the entire campus just to torment me, I'm guessing. Alright, let him in. With a brisk nod, Minnie returns to the reception area. I barely have time for a steadying breath before Theo barges in. Oh, dia nggak sesuai ekspektasi gua wajahnya, tapi it's okay. He drops a book on my desk right off the bat. What is this? Why is it in my office? Well, look who the cat dragged in. Not even a how do you do? What? Do niceties suddenly mean something to you? I seem to recall you packing your bags and moving out without so much as a goodbye. There was no one to say goodbye to. Didn't you find out I left only a few days later? At least it made it easier for you to leave, huh? Didn't it? There is a tinge of hurt in his voice, and I'm only able to pick up because we lived together for several months. Hello, Tenzon, hello. As my mouth struggled to catch the words hanging in the air, I feel the piercing, icy silence creeping in. I had to break the silence before I freeze. What's in the box? What's in the box? He lets out a deep sigh that rather sounds like a relief. Your things that somehow you didn't take with you when you left. Even that oddly crafted handkerchief you love so much. The handkerchief was a gift for you. I see the corner of his mouth twitch. He's lying. What should I do with this information? What? Ooh. Reach out for the box to check. I quickly stretch my hand at the box, yet he is just as fast in catching my wrist before I can open it. I withdraw my hand, he grips swiftly like a startled bird soaring into the sky. It truly caught me off guard. I've forgotten what his hand feels like. Oh, okay. I was only kidding, although you really haven't changed much, have you? You just went straight for it. He sounded amused and slightly pleased, as if he just confirmed the accuracy of one of his deductions. Neither have you. Persona 3 Reload worth it kah mumpung diskon? Beli aja kalau lu suka Persona. I threw all of it away right after you vanished. He says with a subtle squint in his left eye, and not lying to tell of his. I can't help but sigh at his antics. Of course you did. So what's really in the box? Wanna take a guess? I do have an idea. Knowing him, he sooner faced the whole Al Capone gang by himself and take their bullets before coming to visit me. This must be way more important than our poignant history. Case evidence? I've seen boxes like this one before, but never one quite so large. It's a really big case, isn't it? He nods. The biggest of my career. The biggest of my career. And to come to me of all people, you must be at your wit's end about this. He looks away as if trying to hide how galling the circumstances at hand are. Truth be told, I rather face the whole Al Capone gang. Okay, today dia tadi bilang itu. Gee, that stings a little. So what would you... Hold on a minute. You think this has some sort of connection to fairies? He flicked his tongue in exasperation. Oh my, it seems I've hit the bullseye. We stopped talking about fairies at some point when we were still together. Those talks always led to a heated discussion when it then into argument because nothing I could say could change his skepticism toward mystical being. Game apa nih Bang? Death and Faelogy. Ada di judul, please. Dan cek deskripsinya juga ya. Oh ya, gue lupa. Bentar. Gamenya harusnya gue taruh di pin comment. Check out the games. There you go. Bentar. I see, promosi ya Bang. Well, that's the point dari event Sigo ini. Saran ID buat Railway 1. I don't know. Itu pakai base ID aja juga bisa. What should I do next? T-Sim. T-Sim. Oh, this must be killing you. Mr. I don't believe in things I didn't see. He lets out a loud and sharp exhale, this time with a touch of indignation. Try up, will you? I still don't believe they exist. I've been running around in circles with this case. For all I know, the perpetrator could just be a magician playing tricks. Nah bang, standar gua Waporgis ID bukan base bit ID. Oke, ya terserah kalau gitu. Orang railway-nya juga gak terlalu susah anyway. Railway 1 kan? But then I remember the crazy stuff a loony of a formerly betrothed once told me, and my hunch got stronger. And I ended up here. Seems like I touched a nerve. Must have been under a lot of pressure if he talks like a blue streak like this. This case must be beyond big. My mistake. I guess I got a little carried away there. So, what makes this case so significant? Why do you think it relates to fairies? Are you even allowed to tell me? I hear the sound of chuckle under the breath like a bolt from the blue. For a brief moment, his gaze on mine seems to revert to how it used to be. Until the seriousness returned to his face. First thing first, since I'm leading the investigation, I do have some discretion on what details to divulge and to whom. That is, if the confidant can bring value to investigation. And I've known you for a fact that you can be discreet. Still, I must ask you sworn secrecy on this matter. You got it. So tell me about this case. Why does it seems to be a paramount of importance? Gue jujur susah buat translate langsung ke Indo. Soalnya bahasa Inggris yang advance. Gue jadi perlu waktu kalau pengen translate ini satu-satu. Jadi no. Kalau kalian butuh penjelasan, tanya aja. Tapi gak bakal gue translatein sendiri. Musiknya berubah. It's a multiple murder case potentially perpetrated by a single culprit. The victims are a chiefly middle-aged women residing north of the city. They're from old-money families, the types that make regular appearance at high society events. I see. No wonder you're all tense up. You're telling me. Chief took me off every other case, and I insisted I put all my time and effort into this. It's only a matter of time until the press catches the wind and make a circus of everything. And with some of the victims' peculiar manners of death, he pauses. This is where the fairies came in. I swear I must be losing my mind. You got this. Now he downs in a long, deep breath. 3 of victims had a manner of death that the unit has never seen or heard before. The strangest case is the one where the body seemingly hardened into bony tissue overnight. Her corpse almost looked like a carved wooden statue. Man, that's horrifying kalau di real life. No, I heard something of like that before. Of course you have. I frown at him. Don't start now. He clears his throat abashedly. Without finding out what causes this death, and more importantly, who did this, the press could spin the story out of control. Game tema Sherlock Holmes gitu ya. Ini kayak ya murder mystery gitu visual novelnya. So gue juga dikasih walkthrough-nya juga sih, in case gue stuck, tapi nggak bakal gue buka, kalau nggak perlu. Soalnya berarti, tapi kalau dikasih walkthrough gitu berarti ntar ada puzzle-nya maybe. Mungkin lebih kayak Ace Attorney daripada lo nggak bisa mikir visual novel lain. I want to imagine the look on the victim families' faces if and when the papers are making a rush of this poor woman's death. Thinks what kind of depraved sick bastard could run murdering women in such a way. The city already running on fumes, crime becoming more rampant day by day. People shouldn't have to look over their shoulder every night. It's no way to live. When I see lapses into silence, I say nothing. It's not just the city. The rise in crime is bleeding him dry too. Yet I am unsure of what word could soothe those who are fighting it on the front line. I've never been where they are. The frown lines between his eyebrows grow deeper. You know, considering the victim's background, having this murder being exaggerated in papers would pressure the families to insist on closing the case as soon as possible, no matter the cost, no matter who's to blame. You're right. Innocent people are going to bear the brunt for this. This is a terrible situation. I feel my stomach start churning. My arm crossed on instinct, trying to hold my own disquietude in place. Is there anything you can do? I'm just one man. Try as I might, I can't keep this rotten police press from lining their pockets. Nothing but a pack of lowlifes in high places. He exhales sharply, his voice laced with contempt. Then he fell into silence yet again. BF mixnya bang kurang keras. Mix gua kurang keras kah? Hey! Segini gimana? Oh, emang sengaja ngomong agak pelan sih. Mungkin suara gamenya gua pelanin aja ya. Then he fell into silence yet again. Similarly, words seems to have abandoned me, as I can't shake this feeling of helplessness crawling under my skin. After a minute, he meets my eyes once more. Well, you're a good listener, better than most. He curls his lip almost into a smile. I don't mind at all. Thanks. He cleared his throat once more. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. Udah pas sih dari tadi juga. Well, segini aja lah. This book includes case file, crime scene photos, and a couple of blood sample, which I was able to request to bring to you, and several other pieces of evidence. Other than the strange matter of death I've said, forensic was puzzled too by blood sample. Oh, by the way, malam ini cuman main game ini. Gue rencananya mau stream beberapa game sebenarnya, tapi gue baca lagi ini game katanya panjangnya 2 jaman. Jadi ya gak bakalan cukup kalau gue main game yang lain. So malam ini game ini doang. Tapi Sabtu gue usahain stream lebih beberapa game. Rencananya ada 3 game sih mau gue stream hari Sabtu ntar. Well, see you guys Sabtu kalau pengen lihat lebih, I guess. How so? One of them doesn't contain iron. That's interesting. Nothing surprised you, does it? Well, about this peculiarity. Never stream? No. No. I bring up something from my fairy books, but you always find a way to deny it. You're right about that. I'm still investigating the possibility of unknown drugs or poison that somehow cause these oddities. but I'd be a fool to not go after my hunches and look into all possibility. What about robbery? It's ruled out. No fingerprint, no evidence of breaking in, and nothing had been stolen. And motives? Revenge? We are still interviewing the city elites, looking for a possible motives. But it takes time. You know how it is. Yeah, of course. They are very busy. Speaking of city elites, I know people who can be very helpful in getting some inside information. His expression turned sour at full tilt. Who? That man? I said people, yes, but that man would be particularly helpful in this matter. He scoffed brazenly and doesn't even try to hide it. Itu game ada bahasa Indonesianya nggak, Bang? Sayangnya nggak. gua cek setting tadi nggak ada. Ya nggak ada. Settingnya isinya cuman ini doang tadi. Gamenya juga bisa di pause by the way. Wait, keluarnya gimana gua kalau bisa pengen keluar mid di tengah game ini? Gua lihat Steam page-nya ada puzzle-nya, puzzle investigasinya. Me like me business. Oke, Marisa. Gua tahu ini game tipe-tipe game kesukaan lu. Jadi beneran Indonesia di timeline-nya buat apa? Yang bikin orang Indo. Terus kalau yang bikin orang Indo harus pakai bahasa Indo kah gitu? Berarti what does that mean? Look, The Witcher sama Cyberpunk itu developernya orang Polish, tapi gamenya nggak bahasa Polish juga kan? Even at the first time meeting with Mr. Henkel, yang bikin orang Indo tuh, wow, lu pikir Sigo itu apa? Kependekan dari apa? Southeast Asian game. Nah ini gue bacain. Ini gue cekin itch.io-nya ya. Mereka ini game dari Bandung ya, studionya dari Bandung. Ntar ini game bakal gue ini game dan beberapa game lain ntar gue jadiin satu kayak first impression slash reviewnya ntar di akhir bulan ini. So ya, detailnya ntar aja. Holy shit, for a random Indonesian game, not bad. Wow, gua gak implikasinya jelek banget. Game Indo udah banyak yang bagus sekarang by the way. Kalau lu dateng waktu stream kemarin, tahu gua bahas game-game Indo kemarin. Southeast Asian banyak negaranya. Well, Southeast Asia tuh tapi 70%-nya Indonesia. Like, maaf aja kayak 70%-nya Southeast Asia populasinya itu di Indonesia. maaf aja dan sorry frontal aja. Tapi nyatanya gitu. Theo said something Mr. Henkel feeling off and always hated it whenever I had something to do with him. Though it might be just jealousy in disguise. You know I'm right. If he's barely in the newspaper, he's most likely the pinnacle of high society. I don't think he'll mind if I ask him a few things about this. Why, of course. He always got a soft spot for you. Hell, he's probably carrying for a torch for you for a long time, judging by the way he follows you everywhere. Sosis inland, but not in everything else. Kok nggak kelihatan ya game Singapura? Ntar ada, bentar. Ntar ada game Singapura. Ya, salah satu yang developer yang reach out ke gua itu salah satunya game Singapura. Gua dikasih game fullnya, bukan cuman demo. Ini cuman demo, tapi yang dari Singapura itu full game. So, tapi paling gua stream cuma sejaman lah. Just sejaman sih tapi. So, why not? Tunggu. Mungkin ini dibikin nggak ada bahasa Indonesia, berarti target pasarnya bukan Indo, kan Indo datar atau bukan game story. Kata gua, kalau lu pengen jadi game dev di Indo, target pasar lu juga bukan, seharusnya juga bukan cuman Indo doang sih. Bukan game HP sih, Indonesia tuh lebih tepatnya lebih sendemen game gratis. Kalau game PC pun pasti ada yang main kok. Kalau ada di warnet. Kayak gue inget, gue pernah bahas di stream Monster Hunter kemarin. Monster Hunter tuh salah satu game yang rame buat warnet. Gue inget teman gue mainin Monster Hunter World pertama dulu di warnet. So, ya. Yeah. Tapi ini game visual novel sih. Itu udah niche dan niche banget di Indonesia. Wait, are you two an item now? I must steer this reunion right back to where we were months ago by bringing up Mr. Henkel. But it was necessary to mention him. I don't know anybody else would have that much. Ada locknya gak sih? Gak ada dialog locknya sayangnya. Kayak apa? History dialognya. I don't know anybody else who would have that much information about high society. Besides, there has never been really been anything. Even if we did go to fundraising event together from time to time, it was strictly business. Yet again, Theo seemed to lose his reason whenever we talk about Mr. Henkel. I don't have the time or the energy to argue with him. What should I do? Explain the truth about the relation. I mean, peduli apa sih kalau dia ada hubungan sama Mr. Henkel? You know what? Let's just explain the truth. We are not anything. We go to fundraising event from time to time, but these are work. I got my money for my research from somewhere, you know. Our relationship is strictly business. He gives me a dirty look. Sure, I believe you. No, he doesn't. But what I do with him is none of your beeswax. Beeswax? Beeswax? His voice became even more irritated. That's right, it is not my concern. Do whatever you want with him. Just make sure he can keep his mouth shut about the case. He can't help but groan at this turn of hand. I will. Jealous ka? Like, hello? While we're on the subject of useful allies, you mentioned before about blood that doesn't contain iron. I can take the blood samples of university chemists. She's good at what she does. And she's from a rich family. She might know some of the victims of their family at least. I'll trust your judgment. I take it as this is you agreeing to help with the case? That's right. Their lives at stake. He let out a soft smile, as though in quite agreement with what I said. Thank you. Well, if you think it will be helpful, you can ask the people you mentioned what they know using the evidence item. But the case file are for your eyes only. Understood. He has fallen silent somehow, leaving an uncomfortable hush in the air once more. Suddenly, a realization come to mind. Blood Edge itu username lu kah? Yes. X Blood Edge X itu gua. No hate, but just the scenery has been that for 20 minutes. Damn. Well, game visual novel selalu gitu sih. Tapi ya, kayaknya dialognya Hah, bilang dialognya kepanjangan juga aneh sih. Kayak gak ada apa? Gak ada CG ataupun ganti perspektif. Good point, good point. Does this mean you'd be willing to hear about fairies, about Faelogy? That depends. If this was indeed fairy doings, and if through your investigation you can provide solid theories on three things: the culprit, their methods or murder, and their motive, supported by evidence, I'm sticking with the idea there is a logical explanation on an earthly one for now. Fair enough. I wager you no. We have approximately 24 hours to get some sort of answer, an answer that makes sense. I can feel the papers are close to getting the story. Mungkin aku aja kebanyakan main Limbus company-nya ya. Limbus gitu. Limbus juga visual novel, tapi ya Limbus itu visual novel apa? Dialognya lebih fast pace. Walaupun banyak orang yang ngomong Limbus itu slow, tapi ya dialognya Limbus sebenarnya cukup fast pace buat visual novel. Nggak terlalu banyak apa? Kayak dialog penjelasan setting ngapain gitu nggak terlalu banyak. Nah, soalnya kan visual novel kan, harusnya nggak perlu banyak gituan. Tetap ada sih Limbus, tapi nggak terlalu banyak. How about it, Faelogist? Do you dare to take on this challenge? Do I? I'll help even without being challenged. Even without being challenged, I'll still help you, you know? He stares at me impassively. Of course I know. If you need anything from me, you can just ring me. Very well. But you need to promise me that you'll not just hear me out, but also keep an open mind on fairy topics if I succeed in what you ask. I promise. But I can't promise not to scoff from time to time. That's good enough. I ought to get going. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to increase Faelogy credibility in the eyes of the academics. Maybe. Seems like some detective has been following the tiny part of Faelogy in the newspaper. Says you. The one who had to stop the daily paper subscription just because some detective kept getting the headlines. How do you... Because I could finish, he had walked towards the door and opened it. See you tomorrow around the same time. I hear the door close. Hey! I exclaimed with a hint of frustration. After some thought, I realized that he must have noticed the missing newspaper on my desk and my assistants. Reading papers was part of my daily routine when we were together. I can only shake my head in disbelief. He hasn't changed much either. I'm reminiscing about a few moments of our past relationship. Us revealed themselves again now that we're all alone. That was quite the reunion. It was quite the reunion indeed. He hasn't changed at all, has he? I suppose. Although you don't have an obligation to help him. I know. I've already agreed. Very well, just don't overwork yourself. Yeah, thanks, Os. So, yang bisa ngelihat Os itu cuman MC kita. I find myself slowly drifting into thought. A victim manners of death hardening into bony tissue. Could be one of the fairy curses. Ossification. If only I could ask Os whether fairy was behind this and which one, but it is not that simple. Even if they are my longtime companion, fairies have their own rule about exchanging favor, and they are secretive about their land too. A favor like that doesn't come cheap. At least I'm stocked up on milk and honey for small requests. Speaking of requests, I should get started on a reply to my patrons later. For some reason, he seems to be more insistent this time that I come with him to the gala. I retrieve the pen and paper and mumble myself as I write. Dear Mr. Henkel, I hope your recent forays into high society have proven more fruitful than they have been. Should I be hyperbolic? No, be realistic. More fruitful than they have in a half decade or so you've been alive. Okay. Maksudnya bukan itu, tapi sure. Bang, ini bisa ngedate gak di VN-nya? Who knows? Kayaknya nggak ada. Ini lebih fokus. Kalau nggak salah ada game Mushroom Mall ini ada game lain itu yang itu kayaknya ada date-nya. Soalnya itu kayak game otome sih selihat gua. Itu belum ada tapi belum ada. Maksudnya belum ada demonya. Maybe kalau gua dibolehin buat stream itu juga, gua stream itu juga. Believe it or not, I've been considering whether the merits of trying to impress the wealthiest folk of the city outweigh the obvious indignities. You first brought up the possibility of accompanying you to the annual Lias Gala a couple months ago, and I'm still weighing my option. How do I want to play this? Be apologetic. I still don't have a definitive answer at the press for you at the present, I'm afraid. And sincerely apologize for my indecisiveness. About Ruthie, I can say I'm surprised to hear about her latest flirtation with Disaster. Since we were both toddlers, she's frequently found herself in trouble. Her fiery personality certainly doesn't help her get out of quarrels. I would love to telephone her and ask how she's doing, but we drifted apart a long time ago. Nevertheless, I'm glad to hear that Theo was here to smooth things over for her. I'm now arrived at the topic of Theo or Detective Cruz as my pattern reverse. I suppose his query was meant to uncover whether I still care for Theo. How should I answer? Sometime my thought wanders back to him. I murmur under my breath as I write. As for Theo, I must be honest that my thoughts wander back to him. However, such thoughts are fleeting at best. I have not a single moment of regret after decisions to end it. But signing off, I seal the letter with wax, and then I turn toward my trusted Faye. Oz, can I please trouble you with something? You want me to deliver this letter to your patron, don't you? Indeed. Time is for the essence here. As always, please take care of not to catch anybody's attention. You'll see it by tomorrow morning, I'm sure. It will be my pleasure. Thank you, Oz. I'm off. I'll see you later today. Bye-bye. Okay, seriously, dia keluar itu gitu doang. I watch as Oz flits out of my office window and vanishes. Once the Fae is gone, I call my assistants to my office. Yes, Professor? Hold on one second. I riffle through the contents of the box. Carefully, I extract the blood sample as Theo mentioned, and they appear to be stored in test tube. Would you mind asking Dr. Rayford to analyze this blood sample? I'll do that, sure. As I hand the samples to her, I notice that she looks like she wants to say something. Over the 2 years we have been working together, I pick up on a few of her tales. What is it, Minnie? How'd it go with the detective? If you don't mind me asking. Oh no, not at all. He's the same as always. There is lingering beef, of course, but we have sort of managed to put it aside for something more important. He has brought me a rather significant case that he suspects might have some supernatural element, as hard as this was for him to admit. Finally, another character PNG. Dia udah keluar duluan sebelum detektif tadi. Oh, good for him. I can't help but grin at her remark. I'm glad it didn't end in a shouting match at least. Yes, me too. I'll deliver the blood sample for now. I'll deliver the blood samples now, Professor. Thank you, Minnie. Minnie hurries out. I'm alone in my office again. Remembering the conversation about the case, I'm suddenly engulfed by unexplainable eerie feelings. I should start the investigation right away. Drag and drop item for inventories to the desk. Select an Eh, em, nggak bisa. Come on. Eh, anything about her finger. Eh, sorry, gue asli nggak ngerti yang aneh dari apa? Yang aneh dari jarinya apa sih? Okay. Fey and insect. Some Faelogies apply Darwin for natural selection of Fey kind by putting them in the same genealogy. Bentar guys. Kucing gua rebel. And the integrative use of iron combined with physics and chemistry is applied by Faelogists to develop a special black light to detect distinguish three magical essence of three main types of Fae. Her mother, I suppose. This perspective is perhaps her brother? Oh, what is this? Use black light to see invincible thing. Oke. Ini nggak bisa di reveal kayak yang sebelumnya kan? Gua tadi bisa ngerubahin. object. Small metallic object. Been known to repel to or warp. So, ungu dan merah di tengahnya. So, alright. Oke, gue coba investigasi. Halo bang, maaf off topic, tapi HP lu pakai apa? Mereknya Oppo. Cuman gue nggak tahu HP-nya tepatnya apa. Soalnya dikasih ini. Dan gue nggak pernah mikir buat cari HP lain. Knock on the door makes me glance up from my desk. I realize the sun has set while I've been absorbed in the investigation. Come in. My assistant enters the office. Dr. Rayford has arrived to drop off the blood sample. She wants to talk to you. Already? Yes, she's just out the door. I must say I'm pleasantly surprised at the work spirit. Alright, send her in. Minnie nods. She returns to the reception area. Doctor... Agak ribet ya mekaniknya. Ya kayaknya lo harus mikir sendiri deh. Dr. Florence Rayford enters. It has been only 3 years since she has worked at the university, but she has proven her reliability more often than not. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, Doctor. Dr. Rayford hands over the blood sample. She also gave me her lab report. Here you go. Thank you. So what have you found? The most peculiar thing here that there is no iron in one of the blood samples. Say, is this very related? Her question prompts me to ask myself, to what extent of the case can I divulge to her? Theo did say I may ask the patron or her for information using some of the evidence. Although she has the knowledge of fairies and their curses, can she handle seeing crime scene photograph? As I return to my thought, I notice her voice has taken on higher pitch. This is so exciting. Are you working with the police? Does this mean that we'll get better credibility in the eyes of the public? Oh my, we're going to be a newspaper, aren't we? And not on the usual corner spots too. Oh, I can hardly contain myself. It appears she took my silence as a yes. It's good that she's excited about possibility advancement of Faelogy, but her cheerful disposition can sometimes be rather stimulating. As if on cue, a knock on the door arrived to spare me. A specific sound familiar, more familiar than when my assistant knocked. Oscar. Bang, VA-nya bagus, mantap. Yeah, VA-nya gua. Special delivery. Sorry, special delivery. Mr. Henkel's hands are empty. Oh, Oscar Henkel. And what pray might you be bringing for me? Is it you? Are you the special delivery, Mr. Henkel? If you wish to call me special, then I certainly won't stop you. But I did bring a box of huckleberry muffins for your office. Minerva has instantly enamored by the buttery scent. She's currently feasting on them. We can only hope she'll leave a muffin apiece for the rest of us. Oh, hello there, Florence. I didn't expect to see you in this office. Hello, Mr. Henkel. Fancy seeing you here. Although you do have a habit of making this office your sole stop on campus. She chuckles. That's just because this is where all my money went. A well-spent investment, nonetheless. He makes a retort at Dr. Rayford, but throws a subtle smile in my direction. How cheeky. So, Florence, what's been occupying your time as of late? She looks at me briefly, possibly wondering whether she should tell him what she did for me. The usual matter, I suppose. I tried asking your father about your last sorry. However, he confessed he didn't have the faintest idea. You must tell me more about your chemical research of one of these days. The colorful pursuits of you young academics thrill me to no end. You know I can share all that. Kenapa jadi Mickey Mouse? You know I can share all that much, Mr. Henkel. Unless, of course, you find yourself in the position to become the chemistry department benefactor. Then all their secrets are yours. A more playful giggle escaped her lip this time. I'm a fair old chop up, financially speaking. Oh, I'm not buying that one. Not for a second. He's telling fibs, isn't he, Professor? Well, no, I certainly don't want to get in the middle of the money talk of the rich. I wish I had that information, Doctor. It would make proposing research much easier with a bit of a delicate leverage, naturally. Mr. Henkel laughed in amusement. I feel I should ask the reason he's here before this conversation takes an odd turn. On another note, Mr. Henkel, did you get my letter? Is that the real reason you dropped by? Upon recalling that I asked Oz to insert the letter into his mailbox only this afternoon, I'm about to retract this question. Your words have always had this immersive impact on me. Perhaps that is why you are such an effective educator. Whenever I encounter your written language, I long to hear it spoken in haste, post-haste. Are you putting all spell on your letters by any chance? I think you're the one with all the spell, Mr. Henkel. Your muffins, for one. Oh, have always been successful in getting Minnie's guard down. Oh dear, you two are making me blush. I suppose it's time I take my leave and let you both be. I'm due to somewhere shortly, you know. Oh no, that might not be necessary. I can't stay long either. Mr. Henkel lapses into silence as he continues staring into my eyes. It is difficult to maintain eye contact with him, but even harder to look away. I wonder what I should do. I had to discuss the case, but both of them seems to be in a hurry. Should I tell Mr. Henkel to return another day since I need to have an important conversation with Dr. Rafer right away? Or should I dismiss the chemist and meet with my patron now? There are benefits to either choice. Soliciting Dr. Rayford on the case may be a good idea. She could share more insight on the chemistry side of the case. Her parents are a successful company that produces powder makeup in evidence. She would also know the social happening among the wealthy elites. On the other hand, Mr. Henkel is also a viable candidate for an interview. His connection with high society know no bounds. Everybody seems to know him one way or another. He might know things Dr. Rayford doesn't. Since he has been funding my research for a long time, he also more familiar with fairy topics. Whom should I interview? Oke, gua nggak suka Mr. Henkel. Mr. Henkel ini agak creepy, so why not Dr. Rayford? Dr. Rayford, would you mind staying a little bit longer? I would like to hear your opinion about something. Dr. Rayford glances at me and then at Mr. Henkel and then back at me with a glimmer of mischief in her smile. Are you sure, Professor? I already signed science. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to deal with her teasing. Yes. When I address my patron once more, I regret color my tone. Mr. Henkel, would you mind coming back another day? I have something crucial to discuss with the doctor at present. Of course, I understand your scientific pursuit precede all else. I will have it another way. Thank you for dropping off those muffins. He only replies with a smile. See you soon, right? As soon as possible, I promise. My patron day departs. I'm alone with the chemist again. Alright. Doctor, I might need your further assistance regarding the blood samples and also something more pressing. So it is true you are working with the police? I suppose. Detective Cruz consulted me this morning and about an ongoing criminal case. Oh, do I sense some old flame flickering back to life? What? Your eyes are tricking you, Doctor. It's been ashes for a long time now, and nothing has changed. There is a hint of disbelief in her eyes, but I won't indulge in her playful teasing as there is a more important matter at hand. I clear my throat. So I would like to ask you for information, as you may be acquainted with some of the victims or their friends and family. Alright, I'll be happy to answer my question you might have. Thank you, although I do need your sworn secrecy on this. Of course. I'm adept at keeping secrets. You need not worry. Those sample analyses are part of the evidence in this case, right? That's right. Let us begin. I told her the fundamental facts of the case while she listened silently all the while. When I finished my summation, she has only one word to say to me. Interesting. Do you know anything about this? My parents' greatest achievement.
It's one of the things I want to ask you, Doctor. I don't know much about the makeup. How popular is this powder among high society? Ini berapa hour gamenya? Katanya sih 2 jam kalau dibaca semua dialognya, tapi kayaknya gue lebih dari 2 jam. Oh, baru 1 jam setengah ternyata. The powder have been crazed lately among the upper class since my parents have successfully gotten Mary Pickford to do its advertisement. Where I'll be. Siapa? Parents own the company, produce this makeup. Nectar Bell. Lab report. Yeah. I've done my best to put all my details here, although I might have missed something regarding the Chris blood sample. And the most intriguing piece of the evidence, it's weird, isn't it, that it doesn't contain iron at all, even though it looked just like a human blood, not to mention the high percentage of phosphorus. Would you like me to know if it ended up being a fairy after all? Only if I'm allowed. Is there any insight from chemistry as why there would be no iron in red-colored blood? Sadly, no. I'm just as puzzled myself. Yang dua Mary Hatcher. I found traces of arsenic in the blood sample. Yes, that was reported by the forensic team too. One wonders who could have done such a thing to the little poor girl. Actually, chemists do sell arsenic to common people to make their own weed killer or rat poison. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Haven't done that in some time, not since the university contract. But I'm sure the detective has asked his henchmen and to collect purchase record from chemists all over the city, don't you think? So, no, bukan ini. Etna Niblet yang ini kan? Do you know her? Oh yes, I know her, although I can't seem to recall her name. Mrs. Niblet. That's right. I saw her quite often at the auction, only going for rare coins. As usual, the winning bid was hers. I wonder if those coins carried some sort of curse since they come from God's nowhere. Oh. Coin, huh? Oh, dia nggak tahu apa-apa soalnya. How about this? Why are you proposing? No, not that. Photo 3 at Niblet. Yeah, it was everywhere in the papers when her father married to the famous and one of the most beautiful socialites. The other man here is Mrs. Lulrich's stepbrother. Do you know anything about these people? Aside from the being fabulously wealthy and well-known, not particularly. Dapat set the desk sendiri ya. Mary Hatcher. Oh yeah, tadi yang satunya Mary Hatcher. You never know this girl. Unfortunately, no, I don't know her. Fuck. Susan Moore? Mrs. Moore. She seems to recognize the victim quite fast. We have met once or twice at a clothing store and exchanged a few pleasantries. Oh, of course, I would see her and her husband at a various dinner party as well. They were a lovely couple. There's no sound. We just started a little while. I wonder if it's too much for her. Is this Mrs. Woolrich? It is a little difficult to recognize because of the, well, she speaks with her usual sunny lilt, which is quite surprising. I guess she had a strong stomach. Yes, you are correct. What do you know of her? Everyone knows her and her family, that's pretty sure. They're one of the richest in the city, the elites of the elites. Accordingly, their circle consists only of very selective people, such as your patron, I imagine. Oh, and their family like to host charity events. Did you know her to dabble in occult matter? Unfortunately, what I told previously is all I know about her. If she did dabble, do you think maybe her manner of death is a result of occult matters? Certainly a possibility. It's surprising that she seemed rather unfazed by quite the gruesome photograph. Hmm. Uh, alright, itu doang. Okay, an interview. Yeah, I have no further question. I believe I have enough information for now. Is that so? Well, alright. Alright, earlier you mentioned you had a prior arrangement, so I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for your time. You've been incredibly helpful. It's no problem. Okay, so Niblet tadi katanya ada ketertarikan sama gold coin. Professor, I'm heading home soon. Is there anything else I can do to help? No, I'll be perfectly fine. I think I'll stay and work for a bit longer. Okay, see you tomorrow, Professor. Have a safe trip home. Upon wishing me the same, Minnie leave. Okay. I have some time till I have to wrap up my work and day and head home from the office. Hmm. Remember affecting biological factor and It's the next afternoon. I should be grading assignment or reviewing the lecture I'm going to deliver come Monday, or do anything productive in the realm of professional study. Instead, I find my attention straying more and more towards the office door. I voice my frustration to go roll ass. Theo will probably arrive at any moment. I can't stop wondering whether my explanation will be enough for him. In the past, no sort of explanation ever seemed to please him when it comes to fairies. And why should I do so now? My voice cracked with concern. This time, he came to you, bearing in mind the possibility of fairy involvement. He'd be a fool if he discredit you so soon. My fairy companion chirping becomes increasingly stern this time. But you need to get yourself together. You must remain steadfast and strong when facing the detective. Do not permit your voice to falter when presenting your finding. I'm not gonna let myself unravel at this point. It's just that he's never solicited my opinion quite in the manner. A professional insight, no less. All the more reason to be as calm as you can be. Maintaining your composure is essential to delivering a persuasive argument. But no matter what happened, at least you know you tried. At the end of the day, he's the one who needs to solve this case. You're right, of course you are. I'm not a detective, I'm simply a professor sharing my perspective. Thank you, Oz, for always talking me off the ledge. Just then, somebody knocks on the door. That's my cue sail to pass your window ledge. Best of luck! I whisper a hurried goodbye to my fairy friend. I see you tonight, Oz. When Oz flown out, I direct my attention toward the door. Come in. My assistant marches in. Professor, you have a visitor. The detective? Minnie nods. Alright, send him in. Theo paces around a little bit, and after strolling in, he appears quite distracted. He finally stops and opens his mouth. So, what have you learned? I take a deep breath. Here it goes. I have to present my findings, perhaps most sought-after detective in the police force. Theo investigates cases right where the crime scene unfolded. He agonizingly familiar with the grit and the grime of this city's darkest recess. Meanwhile, as a professor, my expertise primarily revolves around the nebulous, the theoretical. I must do my best to stay calm and collected, just as Oz suggested. I have read the case file. Victim odd behavior shortly before death could be due to hypnotic spells from fairies. The fourth victim went to police station, but before she said anything, she seemed saw something that scared her away. What if she saw something not human? And the manner of death... Interrupts me before I can finish. I have no time for abstention. The paper's telephone or department this morning, they saying to find out about some of these deaths. That's why I look agitated. The chief is preparing for a statement for tomorrow regarding this, so I just got to the gist. Is there fairy involvement? Yes. Yes, I am certain of it. I can tell his interest is piqued. However, I would like to first lay out the basic ones. I'm sure you discarded the things you've told you in the past. He grumbles in the admission of my statement. So far, I have identified three classes of fairy: warrior, scribe, and parasitic fae. Warriors have strong offensive magic, scribe magic tends to be defensive, and parasitic magic is, well, parasitic. We Faeologists have developed a tool called Blacklight to detect traces of Fae magic and can be even detected through photographs if the magic is especially strong. Warrior magic glows red, scribe magic glows blue, and parasitic magic shines purple. I found that seemingly various one of specific class are behind this. Which one is the culprit? Warrior. They are of the warrior class. What is the evidence? The third victim blood sample. You see there's a glow of purple and red under the blood light. What do the purple say of paramagic disease? You should have a part in this. Wait, gue lupa. Parasitic underlings of warrior high fae help with the murders. Mungkin ini? Sometimes epic fairy become underling of high fae as they are allowed to feed off small amount of high fae magic regularly. In turn, they will do anything of the high fae ask, even killing human. They seem perplexed and their hype discontented. Something's not right. What else you got? Dead Fae. How does this prove warrior involvement? About the dead Fae beneath the bloodlight? This is a dead parasitic Fae. Look, it glows purple and red under the black light. Fairy Corp. Shut up! This is a dead parasitic Fae. Look, it glows purple and red under the black light. I take it as their bodies still glow even after they're dead. Correct, it takes a little while until their magic is fully dissipated from the corpse. It honestly just like a normal bug to me. Hold on 1 second. I turn the shelf and pick up one of the boxes containing a deceased insect from my ongoing research. I open the lid and show it to Theo. I just found this one dying just yesterday. It died shortly after. Swiftly up beneath the black light. A normal one doesn't glow, you see. Quite interesting. How does it end up here? A failed transformation magic. It's a parasitic Fae that got robbed by a coin due to transformation magic going awry. The coin in the evidence turned into this when I put it under the black light long enough, essentially revealing what it really was. So the third victim, Mrs. Niblet. What about her? Mr. Henkel said she has a numerous coin collection displayed now. Mr. Henkel? No, yang bilang tadi ini siapa? Mrs. Gua lupa namanya. Yang Mrs. Chemistry, yeah. That particular coin must have been nearby when she met her fate. What else you got? Ring. It's part of the transformation magic. It's basically the ring is part of transformation magic. When the parasitic Fae is transformed into changeling or human lookalike, High Fae magic is able to copy everything, including Mrs. Moore wedding ring. There is suddenly a silence in the air as Theo eyes widen in concentration. What the hell are we dealing with here? There appears to be strong evidence pointing towards warrior involvement. Based on what you've shown me, parasitic fairies are one way or another connected to the manner of killing. But you haven't told me how the warrior fairies killed the victim. Give me the district. How do you figure the murders carried out? Warriors replaced the victim with changeling and killed the changeling with ossification and hallucination spell. Yeah. Warrior High Fae used their transformation magic to turn parasitic Fae into human lookalikes of the victim, which are often called changeling. I take out the crime scene photograph with the middle-aged woman's victims and lay them out on the table. Using magnifying glass, I show the oddity in the victim hands to Theo. This is one of the possible anomalies that is likely to happen due to the complexity of transformation magic used in creating changeling. As famous as these lady families are, it would have been a big thing on papers if they had 6 fingers from when they are children. I don't seem to remember anything like that in the newspaper, do you? No, me neither. Theo looks away, as though trying to remember all the newspaper he has read. It also explained the missing iron in the blood sample since the corpses are not human. Until Theo meet my case again before continuing. Then they then murder the changeling using ossification and hallucination magic. It is done to cover up what they really did to the real human. What they really did? Like what? Can be anything. The real human might be kidnapped to the fairyland, destined to wed certain fairy and bring forth offspring, or be employed as a slave, or tortured for amusement until they die. I savor the thought of happening at to the poor ladies. They appear to be unsettled by the same thought as well. Hold on, are you saying they might still be alive? There is a chance. Yet the realm of fairies is still an enigma, even for those who study their kind. The Faelogists in this university have barely met any living fairies. You are aware of how fresh this field is within academia, aren't you? Theo nods. It pains me to admit that I genuinely do not know how to get them back. I will keep trying nonetheless. Okay. Interesting. We both fell silent as though heavy weight had settled in our throat, refusing to budge. We can also look at this case from another angle, the motives. Based on your investigation, what could be the rationale behind the warrior fairies' action? It is difficult to pinpoint the reason why fairies do what they want. They do what they do since they don't follow human rules or morality. However, I found that warrior are targeting people blessed by the scribe. Yeah. The three middle-aged are blessed by the scribe face, shown by the sigil on one of their hand. As I say, I hover the black light on top of the family photographs one by one. I mentioned before that specifically strong magic can be seen even through photographs. Yes, I remember. He answered, taking the black light out of my hand and checking the sigil himself. Those sigils light up on Mrs. Woolrich family photograph and one on Mrs. Moore. This sigil is a sign of being blessed by one of the scribe fae, usually given when someone has done a very special boon for a scribe. It gives good fortune and is passed down through generation. As you know, the middle-aged victim and their families are old rich family that have stayed on top of for many decades. That's how strong the magic is. Mrs. Moore was adopted. That's why it's only her who has it. Her late biological parents hailed from a distinguished and affluent lineage. Theo pointed at the faces in Mrs. Woolrich's photograph, and he's the biological father, while the other two are step-family. I nodded at him. I'm positively sure that we should check into Mrs. Niblet photographs, as she and her children would display the same sigil. I'll see what I can do. Oh, and also meant as a warning for others not to harm the marked human. I guess that warning didn't work in this case, did it? No, it didn't. Well, I suppose this does make sense, and it's a pattern. Yes. This might be a targeted murder. He then casts a glance my way in the air of satisfaction around him and breaks into a smile. Good job. My, considering how rarely he gives commendation, he sounds like a compliment of a lifetime. I can feel my confidence is going through the roof. Hell yeah. Thank you. Lastly, what have you found on the poor girl Mary Hatcher? Any connection to fairy? The chemist's report is similar to the case file. The blood is normal human blood, traces of arsenic. I didn't find any sign of fairy magic from the evidence. She mentioned that you might already be collecting purchase record from chemists all over the city. That's right. We're still investigating whether someone has linked to the girl. I see. The chemist parent owns a cosmetic company that produces the makeup powder in the evidence. She said it's popular among the upper class ladies lately since they've gotten Mary Pickford to do the advertisement. I'm not sure if this is useful. Every scrap of information counts. I ought to note down the things we've talked about today as well. Your findings really threw me for a loop. I forgot to take notes. Of course, take your time. While Theo is writing, I tidy up my desk and put the evidence back in the box. Anything else you got? That's all I have for now. Oh, whoa. Tiba-tiba kau ganti. He has a sigh so heavy I can believe he has the weight of the city on his shoulder. Even so, when he looks at me, there's a glint of something that wasn't there before. This fleck of illumination all the more stark we've started this discussion. It's hope, perhaps. A tiny, delicate thing is blooming in this room to counteract the overwhelming darkness and despair outside. I always knew you were clever. Even though I feel there are still some missing pieces to this puzzle, you've done well. I'm quite impressed. Thank you, Theo. He answered with a soft smile. Well, we got our work cut out for us. But as for now, innocent people can throw in it. Thanks to you. I'm glad to help. Now I just need to convince the chief and the paper. Thing is, I might have to bring up your name in my report. I can't predict how the papers will handle this, but it's possible they'll mention you and Faelogy. This is good for your field, of course, but it could draw unwanted, dangerous attention your way. I'll be fine, Theo. I can protect myself. This is what the field needs. Indeed, you are more than capable of taking care of yourself. I know that you're very well. I do appreciate you worrying over me. Theo's concern seemed to fade, and he let out a sigh of relief. Well, this day's certainly been alright. He glances at his wristwatch. I still got time till I have to get back to the station. Fancy a drink with me? You can tell me about fairies. I'll listen with way less judgment this time. Just like I promised. I don't know if that's a good idea. Oh, I get it. Side, I ought to finish some work. Alright. I better get going then. Be sure to take care of yourself. Same goes for you. The detective leave. I get back to work. I finish creating the remaining assignment. When that's over, I summon my assistant to office. Do you need anything, Professor? I'm in a celebratory mood. Do you want to have a drink with me? Oh, let's go. Why not? It is a Friday. What are we celebrating? A good day's work for you and for me. Ending 3. Good day's work. Wait, what? Ada multiple ending? Ending dari demonya tapi. It's another afternoon in the office. My patron has stopped by to discuss a research project I've been considering. Now that Faelogy might get increased credibility, especially with the police, I think we should examine the prevalence of strange death caused by fairy, don't you think, Mr. Henkel? The police might agree to help us collect the data. Not so sure about that. It will take a time to police to trust us to that extent. Besides, wouldn't it be more pressing to focus your research on warrior face? We have to talk. Before I can respond, two individuals suddenly barged into my office. Sorry, I tried to stop him but couldn't, even though I told him you're in the meeting now. That's okay, Minnie. You can let me handle this. You say so, Professor. Minnie grumbles at Theo as he walks out. So what's hitting you, Theo? He rolls up a rolled-up newspaper from inner pocket of his coat. He hands it to me. Oh. Oh no. At a glance, I can see the phrases, fairies are real, evil is a food, fairies killing humans spelled on in blood, oversized letter. So I began reading. My patron pierced over my shoulder read as well. It is not Chief's statement that made the front page. It's another bizarre murder, and this time the victim is beloved celebrity. She danced until her body gave out. They brought out all excessively grisly detail connected to her death. Moreover, the reports surrounding the other homicide have been thoroughly sensationalized and exaggerated. They depicted fairies as evil enemies of mankind, and in some part they even initiate the war between beings brewing. Reading all of this make my heart sink and my stomach churn. I need to put the paper down for a moment. This is awful. I already checked the crime scene. The detail of this latest incident looks similar to what we have uncovered from the previous murder. Given everything I say, fairy is definitely in the picture here. Though it is hard to make head or tail for this. Very difficult to grasp their motive by judging by the method and frequency. I have to say this is significant. Something big might going in the line of the fairies. As for the conversation unfold, Mr. Henkel appears to deeply in thought. I retrieved the black Roman drawer and examined the photograph closely. Both Theo and Mr. Henkel picked over my note to see. A sigil, same one as the other victims had. I suppose we can now establish that these are the targeted murders. And at him, for some reason, Mr. Henkel is nodding with me. Although the fourth victim, Mary Hatcher, doesn't have the sigil, does she? Did you find anything about it? Nobody in the purchase record has a strong link to the girl. We are asking around here and there. The girl was a saint. Everybody loved her. The squabble with Mrs. Nibble is the strongest lead we have. Striking realization dawned upon me. What if a fairy transformed into a human and purchased the poison? What? They can do that? Suddenly, Mr. Henkel's familiar voice filled the room after his long stretch of silence. Oh yes, detective. Although when a fairy shifts into human shape, they cannot assume the identity of someone already living. Your corporate may be well a name on the list, but one that doesn't truly exist. Theo flinches at Mr. Henkel's input, clearly having dismissed him as part of the fear nature. He then scoffed. Theo? From what I have come to understand, fairy magic is more than capable of doing the killing. They have no need for poison. But I won't discard the possibility. Mr. Henkel only replies with a smile. Well, that's certainly a rare occurrence. Theo, go back to ignoring Mr. Henkel and talk directly to me. I should mention that I've gotten the permission for you to check the crime scene. Come with me tomorrow? I'll see what I can do. Alright, I gotta go. I'm leaving the newspaper here. There are more articles about Faelogy you should read. Pick out the paper again and continue reading while Mr. Henkel silently read alongside me. The field of Faelogy is indeed mentioned quite markedly, but his loyalty to humankind is under scrutiny. Although the police chief spoke of our help, the papers continue to raise doubt about our involvement in this killing. Is the Faelogy University a friend or a foe? Wow, udah selesai. Cepet juga ya. Didn't expect that. Oke, gua pengen cek walkthrough-nya yang dikirim ke gua dulu. Mungkin gua bisa cek ada berapa ending. Maybe gua ending ketiga tadi. Oh, gua cek Death and Faelogy ini apparently genrenya juga ada romance-nya. Mungkin gua doang yang ultra dense, gua nggak ngelihat itu tadi, sumpah. Eh Oh, ada di Steam Community. Bentar. Factor affecting the ending is so huh. Oke, so yeah, gue dance banget ternyata gue cek ya. Eh gue gua cek itu ternyata apparently ending satu dan ending 2-nya itu lu harus milih route romance-nya Theo atau enggak Oscar. Oh ya, ya ini game romance, tapi gua nggak sadar. Wow. Eh well, gue bisa cek lagi sih. Hmm. Well, tapi gua nggak pengen lakuin lah. No, balik-balik ke romance ya. Romance-nya antara detektif Theo tadi atau enggak si patron eh Oscar Mr. Henkel tadi. Pantes di Steam-nya dia masuk nominasi Otome. Gua nggak sadar asli. Gua nggak sadar asli. I'm dense. Gua milih a good day work. A good ending without following anyone. Yeah. Uh, so ada 7 ending. Ending itu so ending 1 2 itu ending yang good ending, terus ada rute romance-nya. Ending 3 itu bukan rute romance. Bukan rute romance, itu ending 3 itu rute locked in. Rute locked in dan be alpha jadi alpha sigma yang langsung ngerjain semuanya. Terus ending 4 itu ending kalau lu jawab pertanyaan apa? Pertanyaan akurasi apa? Akurasi deduksi tadi ada yang benar, ada yang salah. Itu kalau tengah-tengah. Ending 5 Mystery Aplenty. Ending 5 ini bad ending tapi di rutenya Oscar. Jadi dapat ngedate tapi jadi ngedate si rutenya Oscar tapi salah. Tapi salah semua. Oke. Gua gak bakalan nunjukin karena gua encourage kalian buat main sendiri. Itu ending yang gua dapetin. Ini game apa? Death and Faelogy. Ini game Murder Mystery Romance. Menarik juga. Ini ada ada mekanik deduksinya, tapi nggak kayak game detektif gini kayak Danganronpa or something. Lo harus mikir sendiri dan bacain semua evidence-nya, kayak semua bukti-buktinya sendiri buat jawab deduksinya. Yeah. Well, karena demonya udah selesai, I guess itu aja buat stream malam ini. Gua pengen stream lebih, tapi gua capek banget. Tadi siang streamnya lama banget lagi. Well, thank you guys yang udah nemenin stream. Ini stream pendek banget. Dan ini lebih gua tunjukkan buat developernya sih. It's fun. Gua tertarik sama premisnya. Although asli gua nggak ngedong ini ada romance-nya asli. Itu mungkin karena gua dance, tapi holy crap man, gua nggak ngerti kalau ada aspek romance-nya di game ini. Soalnya gua nggak kerasa sama sekali. Mungkin karena gua mikirnya karena gue mikirnya karakter gue cowok kali ya. Gue jadi nggak terlalu mikir aneh-aneh. Although gak ada salahnya juga sih kalau mikir itu tadi yaoi. Tapi you know what. Anyway. See you guys next Seago stream hari Sabtu. Gue bakal main beberapa game hari Sabtu. Dan yang paling udah di-announce di tweet. Udah gue retweet juga sih. Sabtu gue bakal main game Duo Quest, yang mana ntar itu gue bakalan ngundang temen gue buat main bareng, soalnya itu game co-op. Dan ada satu game lagi yang co-op juga. So yeah, see you guys next stream, bye bye. Oh, tambahan juga, akhir bulan ini ntar gue kompilasiin semua game Seago yang gue mainin, terus jadiin review semua gamenya satu-satu. See you guys next time, bye bye.